Hello and welcome back. Um, I've not been in the workshop much over the summer period. My gardening, has somewhat taken over this year. But I was moving one or two things about, and I came across this little radio that I've always really liked. As I've said before, I'm not an avid collector of radios. The radios I've just ended up with because they were going to be thrown away or they've been donated to me and such like. So I don't really go out looking for radios. They kind of come in and find me more, I think, is the or did do. Not so much now, obviously. But this was restored repaired a few years ago, back to fully working, functioning condition. And I thought, well, I must just plug it in and try it, and which I did, and nothing happened. It failed to work, or failed to proceed, as I think you say about a Rolls Royce, don't you? And obviously, I didn't actually video the fix because it was a pretty easy fix, really. I will move the camera around now and show you the back of the set, and then we'll have a look at the front of the set, and you'll perhaps see why, I think this is a very attractive little vintage wireless set. So hopefully you'll see a little bit better. A nice compact set. And before I go on, perhaps I should tell you what this set is. It's a Murphy SAD 94L. And this dates from 1945, perhaps 46 period. The first version of this came out in 1940, so it was a wartime set. Hence, I think why it was cut down, compact, obviously used less materials. It was Murphy's that was Murphy Radio of Welwyn Garden City. Started in 1929 by one Frank Murphy. It was their first entry into the Bakelite wireless market, I believe. And obviously, with wartime restrictions and on manufacturing and materials, obviously, it's kind of a big cut down on some of those massive 30s wooden sets that Murphy had built along with other manufacturers as well in the UK. But a nice little set. It's designed for AC or DC mains, and obviously in 1940s there were areas of the country that were on DC mains, you have to remember. So this was either or, and obviously so it could have the potential of being a live chassis. One has to be very careful with these, obviously, when you're repairing them or working on them. But what had happened in my case, this dropper resistor here, a section of it had gone high, open circuit, call it what you will, and luckily a good friend of mine had got a scrap chassis that sadly he had bought one of these many years ago on eBay, and it was a nice cabinet, but it hadn't been packed. But sending thin Bakelite like this in any kind of postal situation is a nightmare, I think, and a non-starter really. And sadly that the cabinet just come in about, well, 60 or 70 pieces. It was just broken to bits, the cabinet, and even some of the valves had been smashed inside. And he always said to me, if you want any parts, I shall keep it. He said, I shall put it in my barn, and he said it's there. So lo and behold, the dropper had gone a little bit rusty, but I took it off, and it's an original part that was his was all okay, and I've just replaced that and resoldered the wires on, and job done. This is not a first switch on. I have had the set working and tried it. But a lovely little compact set. It's out in black Bakelite. manufactured by Murphy. I think the 1940 version, I can't think whether it was an AD94, whether the SAD came later. I'm not really up on Murphy numbers, and I've never gone into the huge history, to keep it in my head. But certainly the 1940 model of this, when it first came out, was shortwave and medium wave only, 2 bands, because there again, for those that don't know, or those that know these things, in September 1939, the long wave transmitters for domestic radios were switched off because they thought the Germans might home in on them and use them as some sort of guidance for bombing or for aircraft movements, and so there was no long wave broadcast during the war for domestic radio. So obviously it wasn't a lot of point in the war years building a long wave set. So obviously Murphy put a shortwave band on. But this one, by the time we get to 1945, obviously 46, the war had ended, and hence this is the SAD 94L. And if we turn it round so we can see all in all its glory, this is medium and long wave again, this model. And I just think it's such an attractive small Bakelite set. I love the fluting, and it's got this is original speaker cloth, designed by Eden Minns, who was one of Murphy's designers, who designed a lot of their wooden sets. I think he also designed some furniture. There again, I'm not that up on the Murphy side of radios and who worked for them, but so this was designed by Eden Minns, I should say, and just an attractive little wireless. And if you're looking for just one wireless to put on a nice shelf in a modern situation, so many people go like for the Bush DAC 90 radios, which are very nice, and but I think this is such a more attractive set. Obviously it's probably a little bit harder to find one of these, and you might have to pay a little bit more money than I have no idea what the current price of one of these would be. It wouldn't be vastly expensive, I mean, you might still if I plonk a Bush, this is a 50s, this is a 50s DAC 90, and if you're looking there again for just one set to put on a shelf, nice display, and these are easy to restore as well. It's just basically refitting new capacitors in the old wax capacitors, remove those, and very easy to keep running. But yeah, I just think the Murphy is such a more attractive, smaller set that would fit into any modern house. And so a lovely little set with like all radios, got a wonderful history if you want to learn about them, I think, and they do still work. So we'll plug this in, and hopefully it won't go bang, but you never know. And I'll show you it working.
June Nottage on Hammond Home Plug-in. And by the way, I'll be up in Liverpool next Monday evening playing to the Merseyside fans at their society meeting at the Strand Hotel, so see you all then. Now, one of our most immaculate players is Joe Seal, undoubtedly on the pipe organ anyway. And he really made his name in the old days at the Ritz Cinema in Belfast. But these days he broadcasts and records at the ABC Theatre down here in Kingston upon Thames. And I think it's a great credit both to Joe Seal and his Wurlitzer that Chopin's Fantasy Impromptu comes off so well. Moses Seal's transcription of Chopin's Fantasy Impromptu. Well, now from the department of You Just Can't Win. Many of you write me and say I'm unfair to Ernest Broadbent as the new Mr. Blackpool by playing Reginald Dixon records. And others of you belabor me with harsh words for being unfair to Reg Dixon, the, quote, one and only Mr. Blackpool. Well, may I just have the last word, Organ Nuts, and then we'll drop the subject. Both Reg and Ernie are very dear pals of mine, and in recent weeks we've featured them both and done special individual programs about the two of them. So let me say once again the best of luck to the original Mr. Blackpool for a long and happy retirement, and the best of luck to the new Mr. Blackpool. And for good measure, here's neither of them. It's Reginald Liversidge at the Gaumont Manchester Wurlitzer.
Remains is the lead investigator.
I'm more confident than I was before. I'm not 100% confident, and I shouldn't say that because I don't even want to put percentages on it, but it's more a case of we are hopeful. We have the skills and we have the ability, we have the experience to be able to recover his remains if he's there. If he's not there, then of course we stand no chance.
The search is expected to take no longer than a few months. If Captain Nairac's remains are found, it could shed more light on one of the biggest mysteries of the Troubles.
The Metropolitan Police has said a woman narrowly avoided being killed when she was stabbed yesterday at the Notting Hill Carnival.
So there we go. The Murphy SAD 94L. I have built a very, I have to say, low output transmitter. It was a kit. I didn't design it. It was I built it in kit. You know, it was a kit, and I built it. That was me actually transmitting a September edition from 1970 of The Organist Entertains with Robin Richmond that you heard there, and I was actually broadcasting that just within the vicinity of my own house, although I still believe that is illegal in this country. Ofcom don't allow that. I think in America they have, as the AM band, or what I still refer to as medium wave band, is so empty now, and if you've got vintage wireless sets, you know, it's a great way. If you wanted to listen to Radio 2 on the set like this, you could then do that. You can connect your phone, you can connect a DVD, you can connect a computer sound, you know, reel-to-reel record player, and put what you like through and broadcast it to your own radios. But as I say, in this country, and one has to be very careful, I have thoroughly checked, the signal does not go off this. You can't pick that signal up off these premises. You know, that's something that I have made very sure of, but I still think, you know, I don't use it very often. But yeah, the Murphy is a lovely little set, you know, and if you're looking for a radio and you just want one on a nice setting in your, you know, anywhere in your home, that would fit in, I think. And I think Murphy designed and built some very good wireless and televisions. There are people out there that know oodles more about Murphy than I'll ever know. My knowledge is very limited. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's just a bit of fun. And while I was repairing this, I thought I'd do a little video. It's very easy repair, as I said at the start. So thank you for watching. Thanks for your great comments, thanks for your likes and your new subscribers. I do really appreciate it, and we shall be back with some sort of video in the near future. Until that point in time, my best wishes and bye for now.